Hello Malaysians, my name is Professor Dr. Muhammad Tajuddin, and for this video I would like to talk about a topic between Akmal Nyonya Tua issue and the Perikatan Nasional Kafir Harbiy issue. Who among the two group is more extremist and more dangerous for Malaysia? Now, with regards to these two issues, first we have the Akmal Nyonya Tua issue. The issue is when Teresa Kok had raised the issue of the halal certification that was intended to be used also for non-Muslim eateries. So this has prompted Akmal to attack Teresa Kok alone in saying she's Nyonya Tua, and also a few another aspect of insult, which is very common to Akmal Saleh's trademark. The other issue is the Perikatan Nasional Kafir Harbiy. We've heard that not once but many times of declaring non-Malays as enemies of Islam. Right? So in one of the ceramah, it was mentioned, and I do not consider the idea of suspending the member who said that for 3 days as something of a punishment, because to me that is insult to adding insult to injury. Now let us analyze which is the more extremist, because in elections, especially non-Malays have to decide which one, because sometimes they would say both are the same, and whether we vote this one or not, so better don't come out to vote lah, or something like that, because there is no good choice. Now I've always said that the choice of voting is very important, and we can never find our own ideal situation. Even in life, you cannot find ideal choices. If there were ideal choices, there's no choices at all. If you can find the right spouse, very ideal, then there is no choice between others. If you can have the right job, then there is no choice of others. You don't have to, you just work or you just marry, that's about it. There's no. So in the world, there is no ideal situation. You need to choose. Most of us fall in love, but we never really got whoever we want in the first place. Always the second or the third or the fourth. That's always the case. Same thing in a job. We think this is a good job, but then it's not really that ideal. Then we move on. But the point here is that is the choice that we have to make, and that is the progress that we have to move on. We can say, oh, I don't want to get married, or we can say, I don't want to work at all because all of them are not ideal. Well, then good luck to that. Who is going to lose more? So the same thing in a political election. We need to have which one is the better choice, or which is worse than perhaps choosing the other one. So here we look at between UMNO and the unity government, and also Perikatan Nasional, which one is supposed to be something that we need to choose from, and we can look from this situation of the Akmal Nyonya as Nyonya Tua, as well as the Perikatan Nasional Kafir Harbiy. How do we rate which is more extremist? Now, bear with me where I look at four things with regard to this two comparison. First of all, in the Akmal Nyonya Tua issue, Akmal clearly is directing his attack on Teresa Kok. Now, some people say this is not very good because Teresa Kok is doing her job and things like that. But I have already explained in a video that Teresa Kok did some not so good things. For instance, making statement without checking with the authorities of Islam, and as well as making some statements about the idea that Malaysia could be ridiculed, even though she's trying to blame it on ChatGPT and also her assistant. Still, she was not in her best manner, considering that Teresa Kok is a very veteran person, always under attack by people like Tajuddin Abdul Rahman, and always having her own composure, always having a very dignified stand, most respected YB. 200 times better than Akmal Saleh. Nobody can deny that. And I was very surprised of her, I would say, careless statement in that regard, even though the issue she brought up is a valid issue among the Malaysian community. And we already understand that issue already has an impact. The cabinet has pulled back or has not agreed to the suggestion by the religious ministry about the halal certification. So that was the case, and most important thing is that Akmal was attacking one particular person. Similar in when he was attacking the KK Mart issue, he was attacking one person, which is the owner of the KK Mart. He wanted to bankrupt that person. So Akmal is either very strategic or very shrewd in his attack. He did not attack the whole Chinese community. He attacked individuals. Now some people say same thing lah. They are both non-Malays. It's true. You can say that, but it is recorded that he attacked particular person. In this case, Teresa Kok. The other case is the owner of the KK, who both are non-Malays. But in the case of the Kafir Harbiy, the past member attacked the whole community, the whole non-Muslim, whether you're Indian, Chinese, whatever, as long as you're non-Muslim, that is the attack. Same thing with the Kudut Nazilah. That one is attacking all who are not supporting Perikatan Nasional, including Malays. So Perikatan Nasional for me is more dangerous because they are attacking whole groups of people. So the Kafir Harbiy is a pronouncement against a whole group of non-Malays, non-Muslim. The Kudut Nazilah is all those who do not support Perikatan Nasional. So they are attacking whole people, making enemies of whole people. Akmal Saleh, even though I disagree with the manner in which he is using his political popularity, is attacking one person, and then in the KK Mat, it's another person. So we can see that. I don't feel that attacking one person or attacking whole community as so much different. For me, if you attack one person, that is already very bad, because every person deserves a dignity. But here it is recorded that Akmal attacks one individual, while the other attack whole group, which is, for me, that shows the extremism that is more rampant. Now the second thing is that, why is Akmal doing this? Is this UMNO's political philosophy, or is this Akmal's attempt at popularity? For me, it is very clear that Akmal is trying to boost his popularity, and he has been extremely successful. If you look at the numbers of viewers, the numbers of likes in his Facebook, you can see that he is probably the most popular UMNO politician. So that's what he wants, because he has no idea of how to create a good governance or a good government, and the only best way and quick way to become very popular is to attack a non-Muslim, and he is attacking certain individuals. And of course, in the past, he has attacked the DAP, but he is very careful not to attack whole communities like the non-Malays. You would always zero in on the DAP or specific individuals like Teresa Kok, or in the case of the KK Mat, one particular non-Malay individual. And so that is, for me, not a whole party political philosophy. It is more of a personal strategy for populism. As opposed to the Perikatan Nasional, we look at it is more of a party. We have seen Hadi Awang talking about the non-Malays, the non-Muslim, always riding on the non-Muslim. They are like animals. They are corruptible, okay, and they are enemies of Islam. Whole communities, okay. So they are not looking at a popular Hadi, it's looking at a popular pass. And because Perikatan Nasional never said anything against it, so they are also part and parcel of the whole package. So here we see that as opposed to this uh, personal political strategy of Akmal, we have the other one, it's a whole party strategy because it's represented by the president himself. And so, if you are calling people enemies of Islam as a party, then to me that is more extreme and more dangerous. So again, Akmal personal popularity and pass, and with Perikatan Nasional a whole party popularity. Both are trying to reach the Malays and using that, but Akmal uses it for his own personal. But Hadi Awang represents the whole of Parti Islam se-Malaysia. And because Perikatan Nasional does not say anything against him, therefore they are also part of the package. Now, the third thing I would like to say is that even though Akmal have said all this Nyonya Tua business, KK Mat issue, notice that he has failed in his attempt. What has he failed? He has failed in the halal certification issue because the cabinet did not agree finally to the institution of halal certificate. So Akmal was trying to say this is the business of Muslims, and if we want to put halal certificate or require halal certificate, this is our business. And his intention was to support Minister Naim's proposal by Jakib. But he failed. However, he is very successful in making himself popular. So that's a very clear thing. Now, in the KK Mat issue, he again failed. How did he fail? He failed to bankrupt KK Mat because that was his primary objective also, to bankrupt. He said to the point that these people should should not have any more business in Malaysia. But KK Mat is still striving. Now, as opposed to Parti Islam or Perikatan Nasional and Parti Islam se-Malaysia, they have not failed in anything. Nobody went against Hadi Awang. And the person, member who said something about Kafir Harbiy with the DAP only lost 3 days of suspension. As I said, insult to injury. Adding insult to injury for people to have that. Okay. So which is more dangerous or extreme here? We see that, as I said, Akmal is being checked by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, as well as in his some pronouncements. Certain people have already mentioned that what he's doing is not entirely correct, and so he has been checked. But in past, I don't think anybody is checking them at all. And unfortunately, it also means academics who maybe are supporting this are also not saying anything. Now, finally, a question. People ask, why is it that Akmal is not being controlled? First, by Anwar Ibrahim, and second, by UMNO. First of all, very easy, Anwar cannot control Akmal. Although he has said many times that he does not like this kind of statements and accusations against individuals. But he does not own UMNO, and the only person who can say something against UMNO is the president himself. And the president also have said something in contradiction to Akmal. But people will say, well, why doesn't he sack this person? Well, how can you sack somebody who's very, very popular? That's number one. And number two, Akmal never attacked the presidency. The previous members, Khairi Jamaluddin, he attacked the president. Tajuddin Abdul Rahman also attacked the president. Hishamuddin Tun Hussein also attacked the president. Now that is something very serious, because once you do that, then things will get out of hand very quickly. So it is not to the best interest of UMNO to sack Akmal. it is only to their best interest to appease to the larger population and also to appease the partners in the unity government coalition. So this is the double politics that's going on. However, in the Perikatan Nasional and PAS, I don't see anybody trying to correct each other. And who is going to say anything against Hadi Awang? And anybody else who wants to say anything against, I don't see much of what we call a reprimand or advice against, even though there was one of the past member who talks about marrying for votes. Okay, to get votes, you just marry the non-Muslim, which is interpreted as a kind of a very light-hearted thing, although that is a very insulting thing. And so here we see that PAS and Perikatan Nasional have nobody, have no any attempt at all to try to rein in or to control those who are speaking in all these extremist tones. So those are the things that I want to talk about, that Akmal Nyonya Tua and Perikatan Nasional Kafir Harbiy, between the two, my conclusion is that the Perikatan Nasional Kafir Harbiy issue is a bigger issue. Now the Akmal Nyonya issue, or sometimes the Grab car driver issue, may be very popular, but popular may not necessarily mean more important in terms of extremism. Of course, I'm not trying to say that one person being insulted or being punched as unimportant, but in the realm of real politics, we need to look at the larger picture. We need to look at what is the repercussion of insulting one person or punching one person, as opposed to the idea of considering the whole community of non-Malays as enemies, as well as those who are not having dignity and all that. So we need to be very practical, and of course we do not agree with both of these parties doing so in Malaysia, but we need to make a choice, and for us the choice need to be a long-term and more of a larger picture, rather than looking at very populist issue, as well as targeting one or two individual because of what they say. This is how we need to be very careful in terms of the way that we treat our country in terms of the future. We have to be smart, and we have to consider real politics, and we have to make a choice. Thank you very much.